everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's Angelica here. If you're new, then come in, have a seat, have several seats, and if you're not new, thank you for having me once again all up on your screen. So the very beginning of my day started at like 6 o'clock, 6:30 in the morning, where I'd wake up obviously and then obviously like shower, get ready, do all of that stuff. My journey would be like 45-50 minutes into Canary Wharf, and when I get there I'd get in, hopefully I'd aim for like 8 o'clock, but while I'm commuting I'd check my emails and just kind of like make sure like I'm on top of stuff and know what I need to do like in the morning. So sometimes you have a meeting, sometimes you have like a session, and I would usually go and get breakfast. So I'd go to the canteen, get like a full English. I was living my absolute best life. After my breakfast, the typical day, you'd have a session with graduate recruitment where you can learn about different divisions in the investment banking division. Graduate recruitment would put on sessions for interns in investment banking to learn about the different teams. So we'd go to a session, learn about like people from other parts of the division which we might not have met before. So then after that I'd go to my desk and just kind of like reply to all my emails and do all of that admin stuff and like accept meetings. So like oftentimes meeting times would be changed, and like I'd have like a call that I have to go on. So I was on a live deal and I usually had a call like every single day, like 3 calls every day, where I'd have to take notes of like what is being said. And oh my god, it was so hard because like so many people are talking at the same time, and like oftentimes things don't even get agreed, like things just get discussed, they don't get fully like concrete agreed. So like you have to try and like decipher like what's important for you to put in your notes. So then I'd make my notes in the morning of like everything in a call, then I'd condense the notes, then I'd send it off to my analyst, who would send it off to the distribution list. So like we had like a working group list where like lots of people from different banks and different firms, law firms, investment banks, and my investment bank were working on the same deal. So we were all in like kind of like a mailing list, like an email chain mailing list, group chat kind of thing, but not quite group chat. And then I'd get my notes done, I'd send that. Then I'd go for lunch with, sometimes I'd go for lunch with like analysts, sometimes I'd go for lunch with like interns like me. It really depended on how I was feeling at the moment, and as much as I could, I would try to go out for lunch, but sometimes it wasn't possible. Then I'd come back, and then normally you'd have a project you're already working on. So I was on 2 live deals. Was it a live? I think both of them were live, but technically one was more live than the other one. I kind of already know what I needed to do, and oftentimes I'd have a deadline by like 5 o'clock or like 6 o'clock. So I'd go back after lunch and do my work basically. And usually at like 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, we'd have a session with my team. So my team gave us technical learning sessions where we had to learn like modeling, leverage buyouts, merger modeling, comps, and all those technical things. So analysts and associates, and sometimes VPs as well, would sit us down, us interns, and basically like teach us how to do the technical things, because they were going to test us by the end of the internship. So like you have to be like just listening and making sure you are on point and asking questions, because yeah, you're gonna be tested basically. And they usually lasted about an hour. So in the afternoon I'd usually have like 1 or 2 coffee meetings as well. Go for a meeting or a coffee with like a managing director, a director, someone senior and someone that's junior, just to like, you know, make the most of my time there, meet as many people as I could. Then go back to your desk, do your work, your deadlines, go on a few more calls, make those notes, maybe like make a PowerPoint presentation. And if you have an ongoing task, like for instance if you have like a team task or like a personal task which you're being assessed on, like we were, so like I was told to like make like a pitch on a deal I found very interesting. I had to be very technical, and we were also told to like basically build a model from scratch as well. So like that's the kind of stuff you'd be doing in the background. Even if you finished your work, you'd always have things to do. And if I didn't, that's when I'd send a capacity email to tell everyone that, hey, does anyone have any work? I'm like kind of like free now and I can like help if anyone needs an extra hand. Time would fly, like the afternoon always flew by like crazy. So like somehow it would end up being like 7 o'clock and like you don't realize that like normal people have gone home. Like normal people are at home right now, but here you are, the day has just begun. I would order my dinner, so if you stayed past 8 o'clock you'd get free dinner on the house. There was obviously a limit, so you can't like go over the top, but it was a generous. I'd order my dinner. My dinner would usually get there in like by like 8 o'clock, and yeah, like if you work in M&A, you're working every day, so like just order your dinner. Just order your dinner before 8 o'clock because you will be there till past 8. And yeah, my dinner would come and I would eat my dinner. Like we had like a canteen space, like a kitchen area, so and you had like chairs and stuff, so I'd go there to eat. Sometimes other interns would be there, so we'd all eat together and like, you know, have a little catch up, have a little chit chat, and then I'd go back to my desk and I'd probably by then have received an email to say, hey, hey big head, long time. I would like this done by 11 p.m. tonight, so good luck. Or I would like this done by 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. Don't work late though. Don't stay too long. I'm like, make it make sense. So then I'd start working on whatever I have to do, and yeah, work till you get it done. If we stayed past 11, then we'd get a taxi home on the firm. So like that kind of stuff is very useful, especially in winter time, because like it gets so dark really quickly. Because taxi is a lot quicker than train for me, so I just like end up staying, and then maybe like you stay a little bit and then someone gives you more work. So like that happened to me where I was like, I could have left at 10, decided to do more work, and then 11:30 came and I got given more work. So like the latest I stayed was like 3 a.m. That was the latest I stayed, and then I had to be back in the office by 8 a.m. that same day. You know what you're getting into. So it's one of those where like you're not the only one doing it, so like there's a bit of like team spirit in all of it, because like other interns, like you catch up in the morning, you're like, oh, when did you stay till? You're like, oh yeah, I was here till 4 o'clock. And it's kind of like, is this a competition? Like, is this a competition? Like, are we really trying to outdo each other by how much we stayed late? But yeah, that is M&A for you. That is my lived experience. So like obviously other interns may have a different entire experience, especially if you're in a different division, different firm. So yeah, on average I leave at like 11, 12, like that's not really a late night in investment banking. That's like a pretty standard night. A late night is 4 a.m. That is a late night. It's really like my day. That was an average day in a nutshell, but of course we know that not every day was the same. Some days threw a lot more surprises than the rest, but yeah, that was my experience. If you have any comments or suggestions, leave them in the comment section, and make sure you hit the thumbs up button so I know that you are engaged and listening. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'll see you in my next. Bye!